There is a quiet truth that most men never learn. Until much later in life, opportunities with women are rarely missed because of lack of charm, money, or good looks. They are missed because men fail to recognize when a woman actually desires them. Attraction in women does not announce itself loudly. It does not come in the form of clear declarations, bold invitations, or obvious signals. Instead, it reveals itself almost invisibly, through subtle shifts in her body language, in the way she speaks, in the way her energy changes the moment you enter her space. Women almost never say directly, "I want you." They show it. They communicate through instinct, through the softening of their posture, through the way their eyes linger longer than they intend, through the small adjustments they make to bring themselves closer to you. While men are waiting for clear verbal confirmation, a woman is already expressing everything through her behavior. And unfortunately, most men remain completely blind to these signals, not because they are incapable, but because they were never taught to understand them. This blindness creates years of frustration. Men walk away from encounters believing a woman wasn't interested when, in truth, she was practically shining with signals that she wanted something more. They replay conversations in their heads, wondering why nothing happened, unaware that the opportunity had been wide open but unnoticed. But once a man understands the signs, once he learns to read her unspoken language, everything changes. He stops doubting himself. He stops overthinking. He stops acting unsure of his place in a woman's world. He begins to see what other men cannot see, the tiny, almost invisible clues that reveal her desire long before she ever speaks a word. Suddenly, what used to be confusing becomes natural. What used to feel like guesswork becomes clarity. What used to feel intimidating becomes effortless. This video exists for that exact purpose, to reveal the 6 signs women give when they are sexually attracted to a man. These are not theories, not guesses, not romantic fantasies. These are the signals women display consistently, across cultures, ages, and personalities. And once you can recognize them, you will never operate like your old self again. You will understand the female mind at a deeper level, and you will navigate connection with confidence and calm. And everything begins with the first and most powerful indicator, a change in her body language, especially in her eyes. Because before a woman ever says a word, her eyes start telling the truth. Long before a woman puts her interest into words, her body begins to speak for her. It happens subtly at first, almost imperceptibly. But if you understand what to look for, the shift is unmistakable. Her eyes, which once simply looked at you the way they look at anyone else, begin to study you. They don't just glance, they travel. They scan your face as you speak, tracing the movement of your mouth, noticing the shape of your jaw, observing the expressions that flash across your eyes. They drift down to your hands, your shoulders, even the way you stand. It is not random. It is instinctual curiosity, the first doorway into attraction. As her eyes change, so does the rest of her body. You will notice her posture soften, her breath slow, and her voice naturally drop a few tones. These reactions are not deliberate. They occur when a woman feels both safety and desire in the presence of a man. Her hips angle toward you. Her feet point in your direction, even when she is turned away. And she often leans in without realizing she is doing it, even when there is plenty of space between you. These subtle movements are her body's way of closing the distance that her words may not be ready to bridge yet. You may also see her engage in small, almost meaningless gestures, yet they are far from meaningless. She might touch her hair, adjust her clothes, or brush off invisible dust from her shoulder. These motions are not accidental. They are biologically rooted attempts to draw attention to her femininity, to make herself appear more visually appealing without ever saying so out loud. A woman only does this in the presence of a man she is intrigued by. At the core of this sign is a simple, powerful message: I feel safe with you, and I'm curious about you. Safety and curiosity are the foundation of desire for women. When those two emotions appear together, her body language transforms. The remarkable part is that these signals emerge long before she consciously acknowledges her interest. Her instincts speak before her intellect does. Most men miss these cues not because they are foolish, but because they are conditioned to rely on verbal communication. They wait for explicit confirmation, for bold statements, for clarity. But women speak a different language, one that is quiet, emotional, and deeply rooted in instinct. Her body knows before her words do. And once you recognize this first sign, the second becomes even more revealing. Because a woman who feels this growing attraction will begin to shift the conversation itself. Suddenly, her words start traveling into a different territory, one that most men overlook entirely. When a woman begins to feel drawn to a man, her conversation starts to shift in a way that is both strategic and instinctive. It doesn't become overt, bold, or explicit. Most women would never risk appearing too forward. Instead, she gently steers the dialogue into a softer, more intimate direction. What begins as ordinary conversation slowly slides toward topics that sit close to sexuality, connection, chemistry, and past experiences. Men often fail to recognize this shift because it is wrapped in casual phrasing. But make no mistake, this is one of the strongest signs of attraction a woman can display without directly confessing it. She may start by referencing previous relationships, not to complain or brag, but to open a window into her emotional and intimate world. A simple sentence like, "My last relationship was complicated," is not just a statement, it is an invitation. It is her way of saying, "I want you to understand me, but I'm also curious how you will respond." If she wasn't interested, she would keep conversations neutral and distant. Then, the topics become more revealing. She might say something like, "Men think women don't enjoy intimacy," or ask you, "What do you think about chemistry in the bedroom?" These questions may appear casual, but they carry a deeper purpose. She is testing your maturity, gauging whether you can handle sexual topics without acting childish, aggressive, or insecure. Women only open these doors with men they trust and feel attracted to. She may also talk about what she has learned or experienced in the past. Statements such as, "I wasn't always confident in bed, but I learned a lot." Or, "Some guys think they know how to touch a woman, but they really don't," are not confessions for the sake of storytelling. They are signals. They show vulnerability, curiosity, and a desire to see if you understand intimacy from a place of emotional intelligence rather than ego. Here is the psychological truth: a woman will never voluntarily discuss sexual themes with a man she has no attraction to. She won't risk misunderstanding, judgment, or discomfort unless she feels both safe and intrigued. When she starts nudging the conversation toward sexuality, she is essentially checking the waters, seeing if your energy aligns with hers, if your confidence is grounded rather than performative, and whether you can hold space for her desires without losing your composure. What she is doing is building comfort before anything physical happens. She is making sure you are someone who can handle not just her body, but her trust. And the moment this verbal intimacy begins, another powerful behavior often follows. One that reveals her intentions even more clearly. She starts creating opportunities to be alone with you. When a woman is genuinely attracted to a man, she does something subtle yet incredibly telling. She creates moments where the two of you are separated from the rest of the world. This is rarely accidental. It is an intentional shift in her behavior, designed to lower the noise around you so she can feel the energy between you more clearly. Women do not isolate themselves with men they don't trust or feel drawn to. So when she begins opening doors for private interaction, you are witnessing one of the strongest signals of genuine desire. These opportunities can appear small and harmless on the surface. She may say, "Come inside for a second," or ask, "Walk me halfway," even though she doesn't actually need the company. She might hand you something heavy and say, "Can you help me carry this," even if she could manage it herself. She may suggest, "Let's sit in your car for a minute," or "It's too noisy in here. Let's step outside." These moments are crafted to reduce distractions, allowing her to connect with you without the presence of others influencing the dynamic, even in group settings. Her behavior shifts. You may notice her drifting slightly away from her friends when you are near, or walking slower so that you naturally fall in step beside her. She may linger after everyone else has moved ahead, giving you a moment that feels accidental but is anything but accidental. The psychology behind this is simple but profound. A woman only creates private space with a man when she both feels safe and hopes something emotionally or physically might develop. By the time she attempts to be alone with you, she has already made an emotional decision. She has already imagined the possibility of something more, already weighed her feelings, and already concluded that she is open to you leading the moment. From this point forward, she is observing not to judge you, but to understand whether you possess the confidence and groundedness she is quietly hoping for. She is not waiting for you to force anything, but she is looking to see if you can guide the energy between you without hesitation, fear, or awkwardness. Many men misinterpret these private moments as coincidence, politeness, or friendliness. They assume she simply wanted help, needed company, or had no particular intention. But women do not create emotional and physical closeness with men they feel nothing for. When she designs these moments, she is giving you space to act, space to lead, space to connect. It is her way of saying, "I am open to you. Show me who you are." And once the two of you are finally alone, her body often reveals something even more intimate, something she cannot hide no matter how hard she tries. Her eyes begin to drop, again and again, to your lips. There is a moment in attraction when a woman's body betrays her thoughts, no matter how composed or careful she tries to appear. It is subtle, instinctive, and often happens before she consciously realizes she's doing it. Her eyes begin to drift down to your lips. This is not a polite glance or a moment of distraction. It is a rhythm, a pattern she cannot control. Her gaze moves from your eyes to your mouth. Then she quickly looks away, as though she has caught herself revealing too much. And moments later, almost involuntarily, she does it again. The eyes can lie in conversation, but they never lie in desire. When a woman repeatedly looks at your lips, she is not analyzing your words. She is imagining the possibility of a kiss. It is a mental rehearsal, a quiet preview of what she hopes will happen if the moment deepens. This behavior is one of the purest, most unfiltered signals of sexual attraction. It is far more honest than anything she might say verbally, because it bypasses thought and goes straight to instinct. This moment often occurs when the two of you are physically close, perhaps during a private conversation, a quiet walk, or a pause in the night when the chemistry between you feels undeniable. Men often mistake the silence that accompanies this as awkwardness. But in reality, it is the opposite. Silence is not rejection. Silence is permission. It is the emotional space she opens so that you can move forward if you choose to. Women rarely initiate the physical step themselves, but they create the emotional environment that invites it. If she were uninterested, her gaze would stay neutral, focused on your eyes, the environment, or anything but your lips. A woman who does not want you will never allow her eyes to wander in a way that exposes vulnerability or longing. But when she is drawn to you, her guard drops without her consent, her pupils soften, her body becomes still, and her attention narrows to the place where intimacy begins. The fascinating part is that she will often pretend nothing is happening. She may shift her weight, adjust her hair, or offer a small smile. But internally, she is asking herself, is he going to do something with this moment? She is not asking for pressure or aggression. She is hoping for clarity, confidence, and steady masculine presence. And while this sign is powerful, it is still only one layer. Attraction is complex, and women often protect their image even when they want you deeply. This is why, right when the moment is about to escalate, she may say something incredibly common, but widely misunderstood words that many men interpret incorrectly. She may whisper, with a soft mixture of excitement and fear, "I don't usually do this." This phrase has confused men for generations, not because it is complicated, but because men often take it at face value. When a woman looks at you with a mixture of excitement and hesitation and says, "I don't usually do this," she is not making a factual statement about her past. She is revealing her present emotional state. She is telling you that she wants to move forward. She wants the moment to deepen. But she is also conscious of how she will be perceived. This sentence is not a barrier. It is a door. The real meaning behind those words is far more vulnerable. I want you. But I also want to protect my reputation. I want to feel safe in this moment while still letting you know that you are an exception. Women carry a deep instinct for safeguarding their dignity, especially in intimate situations. They do not want to seem reckless, easy, or impulsive, even if their desire for you is strong and immediate. The tension between desire and self-protection is what produces this statement. When she says, "I don't usually do this," she is trying to balance two emotional needs. One is the desire to move forward with you. The other is the need to maintain a sense of control and integrity. This sentence becomes a shield, a soft, protective layer she uses to ensure that you understand she is not careless with herself, even though she is choosing you in this moment. And make no mistake, it is a choice. The subtext of this line is powerful. It says, "I'm stepping outside my usual boundaries because of you. Don't make me regret it." Don't misunderstand what this means. It is not innocence, and it is not hesitation. It is permission wrapped in caution. It is her way of giving you emotional clearance to continue, while signaling that she needs reassurance, sensitivity, and respect as things progress. A man who reacts impatiently, arrogantly, or sarcastically will instantly shatter the energy she built. But a man who meets this moment with calm confidence, who acknowledges her vulnerability without inflating his ego, creates a sense of safety that deepens the connection. Women do not need you to brag or joke in this moment. They need to feel that you understand the significance of the choice she is making. But even after she gives this subtle green light, attraction often expresses itself in one more unmistakable way, one that goes beyond words entirely. because when a woman desires you but isn't yet ready for the night to end, she reveals it through something almost childlike. In its simplicity, she simply refuses to go home. Instead, she extends the moment again and again, hoping you will notice. A woman's desire is rarely loud, but it is persistent. One of the clearest signs that she is drawn to you is her subtle refusal to let the night end. Women who are uninterested do not linger, delay, or stall. They leave quickly, cleanly, and without confusion. But a woman who is attracted to you will unconsciously stretch time, trying to prolong the energy between you, even if she acts casual about it. She may say, "I'll go soon," or "Just 5 more minutes." Yet those 5 minutes quietly become 30, then 45, then an hour. She knows she should leave, but she simply doesn't want to. There is a softness to her energy during these moments. Her voice becomes lighter, slower, more relaxed. She stops fidgeting, stops shifting her weight, and begins to settle into the moment as if your presence is the most natural place for her to be. She sits closer than she did before, moves less, and opens her body language as though she is inviting you to fill the space she has created. These behaviors are not random. They are instinctual expressions of comfort and curiosity. She may ask questions that seem innocent on the surface, but carry a deeper intention. "So what are we doing next?" Or, "Are you going anywhere?" After this are not logistical questions. They are emotional invitations. She is not asking for a schedule. She is asking for leadership. She wants to see if you will guide the evening with confidence. Whether that means suggesting another place to go, taking a walk together, or simply creating more space for conversation. If she truly wanted to leave, she would already be gone. A woman who is done with the moment becomes efficient, decisive, and swift. But when she lingers, when she stays rooted beside you, even as the opportunity to leave keeps presenting itself, she is telling you something profoundly intimate. "I'm comfortable with you. I'm curious about what might happen. I'm not ready for this connection to end." This is the moment where many men hesitate out of fear of misreading the situation. But the truth is, when a woman extends the night, she is giving you one of the strongest signals of trust and attraction. She wants you to lead, not forcefully, not aggressively, but with presence and clarity. She wants to feel that you understand the emotional rhythm of the evening and can move with it naturally. And yet, as powerful as these signs are, they still do not guarantee anything. Attraction is fluid, emotional, and influenced by countless factors. A woman may show 5 out of 6 signs one day and feel differently the next. That is why recognizing these signals is important. But interpreting them with maturity is essential. Because the final truth every man must understand is that interest is not a contract, and a real man never forgets that. Even though these signs are powerful, consistent, and rooted in human psychology, they must never be treated as absolute certainty. Attraction is not a binding agreement. It is not a promise, a contract, or an obligation. It is a feeling alive, fluid, and capable of shifting with new emotions, circumstances, or fears. A woman can show 5 of these 6 signs today and wake up tomorrow feeling differently. Not because she is manipulative or unstable, but because attraction lives in the moment, not in assumption. Many men make the mistake of interpreting these signals as guarantees and then act with entitlement, pressure, or impatience. That is the fastest way to destroy the very connection she was opening. The purpose of recognizing these signs is not to control her or expect a specific outcome, but to understand the emotional space you are moving in. Women open doors softly. They never want a man to kick them down. And there is another truth that often gets overlooked. Some women may want you deeply, but will hide almost every sign because of shyness. Cultural expectations, past trauma, or personal fears. Interest does not always express itself in obvious behavior. Some women swallow their attraction because they are afraid of being judged, rejected, or misinterpreted. This is why no sign, even the clearest one, should ever be treated as a guarantee. A mature man reads signals with awareness, but moves with patience. He understands that attraction must be met with respect, not assumption. He knows how to guide the moment with calm leadership rather than hunger or desperation. He never forces, never pressures, and never treats affection as something he is owed. True confidence is not about pushing forward. It is about staying centered, aware, and deeply attuned to the emotional flow between you. Your role is simple but powerful. Guide the energy naturally. Respond with sensitivity, and respect boundaries at all times. When a woman shows interest, she's offering you a chance, not a contract. When she opens herself emotionally or physically, she's taking a risk. Your responsibility is to honor that with steadiness. Let things unfold without rushing them. Let her feel safe enough to express her desire without fear of judgment. Attraction thrives when there is space, presence, and patience. If you let wisdom lead instead of hunger, you will never misinterpret a moment, and you will never lose yourself chasing certainty where certainty cannot exist. Understanding these signs is a doorway into deeper connection, not a shortcut to guaranteed outcomes.